So, how do you stoke the fires of creativity? And is it even important to stoke the fires of creativity? Now, those are really, I guess, two different questions. So, as far as whether it's important to be creative, I think sometimes creativity is overemphasized. I think for some jobs and some things, you need maybe less creativity and more just pure execution. So, I think probably for those of us like me who are kind of perhaps biased towards creativity, I think probably sometimes we do better to just execute, you know. Um, anyway, but suppose you do need creativity. How are you going to stoke the well of creativity when you're not feeling inspired? How do you become inspired? When you don't want to write a blog post, how do you come up with the content for that blog post? When you're not feeling interested, whatever. So, um, don't know that I have real brilliant inspiration here, but no, that's hilarious. I was just talking about creativity, and then I'm saying I'm not brilliantly inspired on this particular topic that I'm talking on in creativity. But here's some ideas, all right? And sometimes I think that is the way you start with creativity, is just, well, what are some possibilities? Sometimes you just have to kind of stick your nose into whatever it is and just start the wheels turning in your mind. So I find that often the difficult part of a slightly unpleasant project is the getting started part. Once you're going, it's usually not too bad for me to keep going until I'm done, assuming it's not like a giant project. Usually the starting part is kind of the hardest part, and then once you're going, you've got a little bit of momentum, and it's not so bad. So, say you're needing to write a blog post, right? And you're not feeling inspired, you're not creative, you have no ideas, you've written 1,000 articles already, you have no idea what to write next, right? Sometimes the thing you got to do is just start poking around, you know? Poke around on your website, start talking to ChatGPT about things you could write about, start researching random elements, look in your Google Ads account for common questions that people are asking, and so just start poking around. That's number one. Just stick your or just stick your nose in it, right? Just start dabbling to get some creativity. Second point is, I think one of the things that kills creativity is perfectionism. So if you're insisting that you have to have a fantastic idea before you can put a word down the page, you're going to tend to disqualify so many ideas that pop into your head that you'll get nothing, right? Or it's going to seem very hard to get an idea because you're pretty sure, even before you have the idea, you're pretty sure you're going to shoot it down. So, not being perfectionistic about it. So, start dabbling, start nosing around. The second, don't be a perfectionist. Have in mind that, you know what? Even a decent idea, I'll explore and consider doing a topic on it, doing an article on it, right? I'm not going to wait to take any action until I have an amazing idea come to my mind. So I think those two things are probably the most important elements when it comes to creativity in a structured setting. In other words, where it's kind of forced creativity, you have to come up with something, but you don't feel like it. Now, in a broader context, let's say like more strategic sorts of thinking, where let's say maybe I'm running a business and I just need to get a fresh inspiration. I need to get some fresh ideas. I've got some big problems I need to solve. I'm not sure how to solve them. Sometimes I think there are some things like a change of environment that can be helpful. So take a weekend off, in the woods, or go to a different city, or even just get an Airbnb, or whatever. Maybe it's just a coffee shop for the afternoon, but get in a different environment, and maybe it'll spark, get some of your thoughts out of their regular rut, and allow you to think a little more out of the box. And then, so I think that's one. I think part of it too can also be stepping away from something for a while. So taking a break, whether it's a little vacation, whether it's just focusing on a different project, for a minute or whatever it is, giving yourself a break. So, for really kind of big, hairy problems, I think sometimes you need to take more drastic measures like that. the smaller day-to-day creativity, I think these other strategies can work pretty well. Start nosing around in it, and then also um, don't be don't don't kill your ideas before they've hatched. Be open to ideas even if they're not amazing ideas, and then maybe you'll get 3 or 4 of them, and maybe one of those will be actually pretty good. And once you start rolling on it, maybe it'll be even better than you thought.